Yeah, well, it's kind of scary. It's a real scary feeling, and it's kind of hard because if you ain't never been tortured, what I'm saying, by army and feds, then you ain't gonna never know where I'm coming from or how I feel, and it's a very scary feeling because when you start to talk, people think you crazy, and they'll call you crazy, and they'll literally hate you because you're speaking the truth, you know. But there's the truth. Yeah, I have been tortured by the feds and the army here in South Florida, for a long time. And they know what they did to me. I don't want to say too much of what they did to me, but they know, you know what I'm saying? And at first it was shocking and very scary, and damn, man, these people are so smart, man. I mean, man, so smart. But, and it's a very tricky and scary situation, and the things that, they do and how they do it is just, wow, it's on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother level. And it made me think crazy. It made me think crazy things, like stupid things, and not suicidal things or killing somebody things, but it made me think of you know who can you trust? Really, you can't really trust nobody. You know, um, after seeing what the feds can do and what the military can do when they combine, it's oh, Lord, it's unbelievable. And I've seen them, do damage to uh, a lot of people here in South Florida, and the way they kill, you know, um, and when I say it made me think crazy things, it made me think things that, like, America not really a free country, and you really don't have the freedom of speech. All those are just lies. You see, no matter, this is what it made me think, though. My opinion, I can be wrong, but, um, this is what it made me think. You know, no matter what we gotta do to get you to think that and believe and know in your brain that this is a free country and you have the right to say whatever you want to say. That's bullshit. That's those lies. Because the reason why I say that, here in South Florida, I don't know about the rest of the U.S., but I can only speak for here what I've been through here in South Florida and how it made me think and how wise it made me for the torture that this military and the feds did to me with their criminals. I know this. I know they kill you for talking, for what you say. Like if you're a rapper, let's say you're a rapper, and you get on stage. Everybody know rapping is for entertainment. Things you say might not be true. It might be true. It's just for entertainment, right? But they take it far seriously. They ain't gonna let you know that, and they ain't gonna never let you know that. But they hear what you say, and they'll kill you for that here in South Florida. Now you might think, oh well, why they didn't kill all these rappers and stuff yet? But that's because they can't make it obvious. So they can't just go around killing all the rappers all fast because everybody will notice, what's going on. And then they do have other countries who hear stuff too. So they got to be extremely careful. Every now and then they'll nitpick a famous person and kill them, and it'll be a disease, or it'll be a car crash, but they'll get you eventually. And so that's what I learned here in South Florida. And they say you have the right to do whatever you want to say whatever you want. That's bullshit. You don't, because they kill you. I've seen this happen here in Florida. They kill you by what you say. They kill you by what you do, how you act. You could have a normal conversation with your family or with your friend, and y'all could be having a normal conversation. Oh, girl, he's so ugly ass, or you could be like, yeah, that nigga stupid or whatever, just by how you talk, and they hear you when they start putting them little decoys in your family, and they hear how you talk and the words you say, they'll kill you for that. But you ain't gonna never know that. They ain't gonna let you know, and then they'll kill you by how you dress. If you pole, all that. If you owe all that, they kill you for all that. You know, but they ain't gonna tell you. So that will make you think this is no different from a communist country. Only difference is those other countries is truthful killers, like the killers in ISIS. They truthful, how can I say it? Honest killers is what I would say. Here in America, they cowardly liar killers. they liar killers. See, when they kill you here in America, it's more like puzzle. It's more like oh, who did it? Oh, we investigating. Oh, if you seen this suspect called such and such Crime Stoppers, in my mind, I'm thinking, all of them in on it. They just want to know who all knows something, so they know what areas is watching, who all really watching their programs, so they know what areas to stay out of. And sometimes they might run tests, they might, and they'll still kill people in those areas where they get callers coming from. So they don't mind. They're just testing to see how many people really watching. But all of them in on it together. From the news to the federal police to the military soldiers to the criminals, all of them in on it. Now, see, let me say this: they might have some people that's working in the news station that really don't know. All of them might not be in on it in the news station, in the news, station, and and all of them might not be in on it at the police stations. They do have good people, who might not really know what's going on, who just really doing their job, and then they might have police who really don't know what's going on, which I doubt, but and really just doing their job, right? But and but I guarantee you, there's gonna be some of them people in that news station know exactly what the fuck going on. They know exactly what's going on because they all together. So everybody might not really know because it's a lot of people working in the news station. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, some of them know. But they ain't gonna never say nothing. They just doing their job. They come through and clean up for the for that federal police and the military soldiers and the city police. They come through. Oh, it was such and such. We looking for this and that. Now the killers and ISIS, they don't need no damn news reporter. You see what I'm saying? They don't need nobody for you to come and do no investigation because you gonna know who did it. They're gonna kill you, and you gonna know it's them who killed you. Because they're gonna record the shit. They gonna let you know they're honest killers. You ain't gotta beat around the bush. You ain't gonna need no news station to come clean up behind you and say, okay, well, somebody's been shot on such and such avenue. We just need to know if you know any information. Call crime. They don't need all that shit. You see what I'm saying? But they gonna kill you, and you're gonna know who did it because it's them. But so that's why I say they're honest killers. But here they liars. They liar killers here. They when they kill, it's puzzle. You don't know who doing it. You got to pass out flyers, and then I look and I see all these mothers, man. They be crying, and they really don't know. These people really don't know what the hell going on. They don't have no kind of fucking clue. They don't have no clue. They gonna never have no clue. They gonna die heartbroken, and it's just like, and what I know is we got our own suicide bombers here. Like they ain't like the ones in Iraq and ISIS that'll strap themselves up and blow themselves up just to kill one person. You got some crazy people that'll strap bombs up to themselves, right, and blow their whole body. What the good Lord gave them, their eyes, fingers, beautiful body. What the good Lord has blessed you with. They don't care about that. They willing to blow all that shit up in pieces just to kill one person, right? We have the same people walking around us right here in the United States of America, but they're not gonna blow themselves up in no building because it's not like that here in America. What they do is go out in the streets and they work for this military and they feds here and they murder mass people. If they get caught, they already know they fate. That's what I mean by we got our own suicide bombers. They willing to accept whatever their punishment is, and they ain't gonna never say nothing, nigga. Real soldiers. They willing to accept the death penalty, nigga. If you gonna kill them, kill them. They don't give a fuck about death, nothing, bruh, nothing. Death, jail time, nothing. And they gonna shut their mouth, and they ain't gonna talk. And they know what they there for. They know their mission, and they know the same people who arrested them. That's who they did it for. You know what I'm saying? The first person to talk to any criminal every time they do something is who? My point exactly. The police. The police is gonna talk to any suspect before anybody, before you, the media, the news, anybody. So you could be handcuffing him saying, good job, man, good job. We'll get you out of here in 3 years. Don't worry about it. And see the news coming and they gonna do their part. Now see, we so busy as people doing whatever we love to do in our life, we don't give a fuck. We don't care about that. We gonna care when it hit the news and we're gonna pay attention and cry for the families, whatever happened or whatever. But 2 weeks after that, 3 weeks after that, everybody getting on with their life. They got too much own stuff to worry about in their own life. That's what the feds and the army know here. They know that. They know you busy. That's why they do what they do. And so all of us is nothing but targets, man. All of us walking targets. Easy for them to kill. Very easy. You don't know nothing. You know, you ain't gonna never know. And that's what when I say it made me think crazy, that's the type of crazy I was talking about. You know, and I wised up, man. I wised up, and it made me so wise. It really literally scared me. It scared the hell out of me, man. And everywhere I go in the city, my family was still dying from so-called this and that. But every time I turn around, I got this soldier in my face trying to recruit me to join the army, and I got the feds trying to get me to be cool with me to snitch on some people or whatever the situation was, while they masking mass people. Meanwhile, I'm taking trips. When I go to New York and stuff, you know, I felt free for that first time. But I knew it was only a matter of time before the feds followed me to New York, and then I started feeling caged again. You see what I'm saying? When I got New York, when I got to Buffalo, New York, and Manhattan, I really felt free. I felt like, you know, everything that I had accomplished, I ain't, you know, it was free. Like I ain't feel followed by the feds. I ain't feel, you know, watched by the army or nothing. But then they started coming. I started seeing them in there, and they started showing up, and you know that same feeling came back. But you know, and one thing I noticed in New York when I was in there, they had this little logo. It kept repeating over and over and over again. And I heard this in my head over and over again. You know, if you see something, say something. And remember, if you see something, say something. And it wasn't out down here in South Florida then. But now South Florida just starting to express that, saying that if you see something, say something. If you see something, say something, and this and that. They just starting to bring that out here, you know. But it was already out in New York. I guess is where it was originally created at. And all I thought about is they brainwash these people heavy, man, and that's not right because you know they make these people think it's okay. You can tell on anybody, though. I've been saying this in a lot of my videos, man. You can tell on anybody you want to, dog. But when you be real, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Let's just cut the bullshit. You say if I see something, say something. Well, I'm seeing something, and I'm saying something, and it's y'all. You know, when you try to tell on, you know, federal police and they military and criminals, oh my God, you crazy then, and they go out your way to prove that you're crazy. And but you can tell on any one individual, and they'll bust their necks, bust their ass, do whatever they gotta take to find out one person who may have committed a crime, and he may be working for them. So it could be a stage thing, or it may not be. But you try to tell on an agency, yo, oh, you crazy, but nah, but it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So in their mind, it's cool. They got this model to where if you arrest one of them, you got to arrest all of them because they're all together, and you can't do that. It's not possible, and they know it's not possible. So therefore, they win. But you not with no army, you not with no agency. So when you do something, they gonna come and bust your ass, and then you gonna have to work for them or do your time or whatever it is. And so that's what it was. And you know, uh, and they was stressing that if you see something, say something. And that kept playing in my mind over and over and over again. And it brought back so many memories of so many years when I was getting tortured by, you know, the feds and the army mentally and sometimes physically here in South Florida. And that's all I could think of. If you see something, say something. And then it just started playing in my mind, you know, if you see something, say something. And then I thought about, you know, the Boston bombers and all that stuff that was going through my mind at the time. And it brought me right back to these feds and the army that's here that was torturing me here in South Florida. And I'm gonna tell you why. This house was given to me. The same house where I live in now, right? It was given to me by a man, right? And his wife. His name was Ralph Benfield, right? He was from the United States Army. He was a cool guy. Before I had this house, I was homeless. I was living with my cousin, But I was sleeping in her backyard because I didn't want to sleep in her house. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why right now. Hold on. I'm gonna show you everything and tell you why I didn't want to sleep in the house or whatever. You see, um, hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. When when the feds see the feds knew that I had asthma or whatever, right? Now see, and they army. See, they like to keep me, and they like to keep me with living with my family because I got a huge family full of boys and girls. Now they can get close to me and still torture me mentally and physically if I'm living with my family because it's not my house. They get to put whoever they want to in their house to piss me off, to fight me, to spy on me, to make me feel very uncomfortable. All the while my family knew because they forced my family to work for them too, but they tried to make it seem like I was crazy. And so the reason why I was sleeping in the backyard because every time I stay with family members, to this day, if I go see one of my family members, the feds get them a call. They ain't even gotta call them no more because they got them so trained. They'll lock the windows and they'll start cooking with this chicken grease, burnt chicken grease. They'll fill up the whole house full of smoke and everything. And this is my asthma inhaler. I take a brutal. You know what I'm saying? The feds know that. And so what they'll do when they lock these windows, it'll fill the whole house up with burnt chicken grease smoke, and it'll start. Sometimes I knew it was them, but sometimes I didn't want to always leave out the house all the time because I knew they were trying to make me get out of the house. So sometimes I say, "My man, fuck this, I'm gonna stay right here and see what they're trying to do." So I stay there and inhale the smoke and everything, and I noticed how they have my mom in the kitchen smoking cigarettes and everything so fogged up, and she can't open the windows, and we couldn't do none of that. And after sitting in there inhaling that time after time, all that smoke and insulation and stuff like that, uh, they'll send a guy by and he'll be a fight. Now, see, it was torturing me so slick to the point where they didn't let me sit in the house and basically inhale all that smoke because I got tired of leaving out every day. And I want to watch my favorite shows and stuff, and here they go want to fry chicken grease, the same stuff, burnt chicken grease, and fill the whole house up with smoke. Don't open the windows. At the same time, they got people in there smoking cigarettes, including my mama, inhaling that shit, and knowing I got asthma. And they'll send a guy by, fresh guy, a fighter too. He know how to fight. He'll come by and pretend like he all cool, but he be there to fight. You know. And so when I caught on to that, they kind of backed off. And so to prevent all that, I just started sleeping in the backyard. And that's just I'm skipping because it's already like 18 minutes and it's gonna be real long. And so that's what happened. So when I when I started catching on to them, they kind of backed off, but they still kept on to it. Like every time I come in the house and use the bathroom or something, they'll have somebody in the bathroom. Like they knew exactly when I had to use the bathroom, when I had the number one, when I had the number two. They studied me very well, and so they knew that. And you know, part of like choking me with smoke and trying to make me fight. And so I used to sleep in the backyard or whatever. And so when I saw the lady, I tried to make a deal with her, and I told her that I could come up with some rent money, would she let me live there? And she was like, "Oh, this is my father's property," and so she gave me her father's number. I called him, and then he was like, "Yeah, well, I spoke with her, and she called me back and was like, yeah, my father said he'll let you move in and everything, just give him $200 a month," and I was like, "Okay," and that's cool. And so now, mind you, I didn't have the money. I just wanted to see if I could get in because the feds had me on a chokehold. They never they ain't let me work or nothing. I couldn't even go to school. They without them setting up a perimeter. I'm gonna get back to the situation, but let me give you an example. Like if I try to go to school right now and I didn't say, if I didn't tell one of my family members where I was going, because my family members report back to them and let them know, oh, he said he's going to the school. So the feds would be at every school in the county that I could possibly go to before I even get there. And they already have it set up to where, they how they set up things. And so if I leave without telling nobody, then when they know I'm going there, then they'll call there. Say like if I'm going to school right now, I get up and just leave. They'll call that school once I get to the school ground and be like, hey, FBI, whatever they might tell him. Blase squaze, hey, he are not supposed to, blase squaze, squaze, blase, whatever they might tell him. You know what I'm saying? Just blah, 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 and things like that. And then the school denied me. Now, once they know I went to that school, they're going to go to that school and start setting up a perimeter, getting lights, cameras, recorders, all the stuff that they use. Then they'll welcome me back. At that time, I don't want to go there because I already know what's happening. You know, they already got their little criminals in there and all this stuff and all that shit, man. You know, it just pisses you off. And um, so I couldn't go to school. But that's just one sample. So once I found the house, you know, I got in. It was really nasty, dirty, tore down, old, and just smelly. It was a real fucked up house. Excuse my language. You know, it was really, really, really fucked up, man, and nasty. But I stayed in here because it was either this where I can live peacefully on my own, have my own room, or go back and stay with my cousin and where the feds can keep packing up all these people in the house and all this dumb shit, that they were torturing me in their own way, playing with my life, using it as a study for them, like I'm some kind of study tester, seeing how much smoke can I take before my asthma starts acting up, and seeing how many of their criminals can I actually beat up after inhaling all that smoke while having an asthma attack. They use crazy like that. And so once I got the house, because they called me and was like, you know what, we don't care what you do with it. We're not coming back down there. Just keep the yard up and everything because we don't want to be getting fined for the house and things like that. And I was like, okay, ma'am, thank you so much. And I've been staying here and I fixed it up and I've been living and I've been, doing my thing. And when I got this house, it was an old map of Boston in the house. Now, I allowed my brother and them to come in and live in at the time. And I know the feds was making my brother and them work for him, too. The feds in the army, they had my brothers and them scared as fuck because after they killed the first 3 members of my family, my whole family was, they were scared. So they worked for them under pressure, for their life. They knew they was going to be murdered if they didn't. And so for that, the keys came in the mail. They sent me the keys, right, to this house that I'm in right now today. The owner sent me the keys in the mail. I knew that the feds was already at the mail station. I knew that. They had been took over the mail so they can see who all get mail, who all get what. They love addresses and maps and stuff like that. That's what they do. And so, I knew that they made an extra copy of the keys to come in the house. And so what I went and did, went to the dollar store and bought another lock and changed the lock. But I couldn't, at that time I didn't have enough money to change the other lock. And so they kept the key. What I believe, they came in here and then they took a look at this house too. And then, because I always have this book bag. I had this book bag now for like 5 years. It looked like an army book bag, but it's not. And I found this book bag and it was brand new one time by a church, and I kept it ever since. And it was actually way cleaner than this. And so I got pictures of me in that book bag. I probably post them up later. But yeah, that bag been with me for a while. And then way before the Boston bombing thing happened, right? And now all of a sudden, 3 years later, after feds was following me, taking pictures of me, and I was taking pictures of them, putting them on my Facebook page, Justice for Ketron, you know, and they got smart. So now, I had took a trip to Boston to see some old friends of mine a while back, and they followed me up there. And so I got spooked, and then I came back home. About a few years after that, all of a sudden, a Boston bombing and all this stuff like that, and it all go back to when I was in New York, sitting down thinking, when I was feeling free. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. And I was like, wow, what the f-? And it scared me because I was like, dang, they must have came in my house, saw that map, and know that I've been there. And when I was coming back from Boston, when I got scared and I was coming back, I swear to God, the feds was in the Boston airport station. They had that shit held up, bro. Everybody, it was about, I swear to God on my life, it was about 40 undercover federal police and military soldiers in Boston in tuxedos like this, all looking at me. I'm the only one in the line looking at them like, what? And everybody's looking at me like, I swear to God, I swear to God on my life, I swear to God, dog, all feds was in the Boston airport. Before like they had the airport hold up, they weren't gonna let me go home. So I'm thinking they finna come over there and say, uh, Mr. White, put your hands behind your back. And, I'm thinking they finna arrest me or something, but they didn't. They just looked at me for like an hour. Nah, I ain't gonna say an hour, for like 25 minutes. And then they did some kind of signals when they're touching their jackets and fixing their suit. And the lady said, all right, y'all could board the plane. We aboard the plane. They came back. Military soldier dude sat next to me on the side of the plane, just like a military dude sat next to me on the way coming back from Canada when I was in New York listening to that. If you see something, say something. When I came back, it was a military dude sat on the side of me, you know, and he was telling me stories about him in the army and all this and that, just like the dude, that military dude that sat next to me um, on the plane coming back from Boston. When I got back and all this stuff, but I'm gonna skip that. But so, um, yeah, and so I was thinking like, dang man, I thought about the map and it was sitting in here and it collected dust. It's a map of the whole Boston. And then it brought me back to when I was doing general labors working in construction. And when I was working in construction, military soldiers used to be dressed up as construction workers and they'll say little slip things to me like, oh, I hope you're going to die like a man. I guess he's saying that by me doing all this talking and telling on them, when it comes time for them to kill me, I guess he hope I'm not supposed to beg for my life. I'm supposed to, take the shit like a man, die like a man. And so I look at him and laugh and, just whatever, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew they took over the company, the General Labor Company, and just placed it with soldiers and federal police. But I needed money at the time, and I knew they was feds, and I knew they was there, to spy on me and other people who needed money like me. But I knew I was there for the money. I had to work around the feds, but it was a job. I had the right to come to work if I wanted, get money. If you don't know what general labor is, it's like a little job that pay you, um, like $40 a day for like 6 hours of work. You know what I'm saying? And so I was working for that, but they'll follow me everywhere I go, so I couldn't do nothing anyway. It was annoying the hell out of me, but I needed money. I was home at the time, and I had to work. So I went to work, and they'll come to work, and in the office one time they called me in the office, and I see this map of the world. They got a map of the world in the office. I'm thinking, who in the hell use maps at a general labor as a construction company? They got maps in here later, and they studying the fuck out of that map. But only thing they was focusing on is America at that time. And I'm sitting here, they studying this map and talking in codes and stuff in front of me like I ain't even there. And they're like, yeah, okay, Florida, the Panhandle, and then from California to New York, and then we got Boston up here, the main province of Rhode Island, so this is the borderline to Canada. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, they really studying this map. And I'm thinking, these crazy ass people, man, these crazy ass white people, you know what I'm saying? They actually planning some shit. And they looking at this map. Planning, they studying this map heavily, heavily. And so I'm like, damn, you know. And here go again. If you see something, say something. I'm thinking of this now, and it's making me think all that. I'm like, wow, and but it makes you scared to talk because you can't trust nobody. The police gonna trust police regardless, no matter where they from. The feds gonna trust feds regardless. The military gonna trust military regardless, and they're gonna be the ones to kill each other because they're the only ones who can kill each other. They ain't gonna trust a nigga like me out the street. So I think it's best for me to just shut up. Let them kill each other. How they do, because if the more you talk, the more they say, nah, you crazy. They already call you crazy. So sometimes you just got to sit back and watch them kill each other and hopefully and pray for a change. And so that's what I've been doing lately. But that's what happened at that time, and I was like, damn. And I thought about the map of Boston, and when I heard the Boston bombing, and they've been following me around for about 6 years, and we wearing the same book bag. You see what I'm saying? I had the same book bag for a long time, trust me. And now they made it hot for niggas to wear book bags. So I'm thinking to myself, damn, these fucking feds smart as fuck. The feds here in South Florida, and they know now they make it to where they can stop me, and they already stopped me like 40 times and searched my book bag. Every time they stopped me, they ain't find nothing in there, and they just stopped me about 3 weeks ago. Again, searched my bag again, I ain't find nothing. And and so now they gave them probable cause because now in New York and everywhere when they see people walking with book bags, they think of the Boston bomb and somebody gonna bomb somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? And I had my book bag before that, but this would make me think that they had something to do with it. They've been following me for years. They followed me before I got this house, and when I got this house, they came in here and they've been searching and going through my stuff, and they had other of my family members to spy and see what's in this house for them. And so now they know I had a book bag, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. I got a map. Like I said, it's a map in Boston, of Boston, that been in this house ever since I came in. I never touched it. I always looked at it and I saw it just sitting there. It got so much dust on it. You know what I'm saying? I've been thinking to myself, damn. So it makes sense. They've been following me around with this book bag. They knew I've been to Boston before to see some old friends. I come back from Boston. Years later, all of a sudden, when they've been following me, when I have my book bag years later, and all of a sudden it's a dude who bombed Boston and they wore book bags. And even though they was white, but I'm a black person and I got a book bag, and they gave me this house. Remember, I said the dude's name was Mr. Ralph, who gave me this house. He was from the U.S. Army, but I think they killed him too. But he was already old anyway. He was like he was gonna die. And his wife, Miss Regina, and they gave me the house and everything, and he had been all over the world. And so I guess it was his map of Boston. But and hold on, I'm gonna show you the map right now. I'm finna go get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go get the map right now. I ain't never touch it. Well, I'm finna touch it tonight, and I'm gonna show you what I'm saying. And this how I know that the feds probably wanted to do that to make things hard on people like me who carry book bags and stuff to give them probable causes, just to harass people. And it made sense. Every time I heard it say, if you see something, say something. I'm sitting there thinking I'm looking at about 15 undercover federal police and some military soldiers that had uniforms on, and some of them that didn't have uniforms on. I'm sitting at all of them over there in Manhattan at them at what it is I forgot what they called it, man. Town Madison Square Garden. I'm sitting there looking at all these undercover federal police taking pictures of me, and all kind of military soldiers looking at me and staring. And all I could think of, if you see something, say something. I'm like, damn, I'm looking at the problem right now. And they saying, see something, say something. But I bet if I get up and try to tell them right now, all hell will break loose. So I just kept my mouth shut. And I thought about all the Boston bombing and everything, and I know the feds been all through this house since I had it, because it's not in my name. I can't even get nothing fixed around here because it's not in my name. And Miss Regina and Mr. Ralph, before he died, he didn't want to give me the rights to the house. He just wanted me to stay here to keep the yard up. And so that's what I've been doing. And, that's why they done broke the windows out and everything, because they know I can't get it fixed because it's not in my name. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. But let me go get the map. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. It got dust on it. It's a map of Boston, a real map. And when I went and I thought about the same map they were studying when I used to go to work for construction, and I seen it up there, and they had a map of the world, but they was focusing on not Florida but America right now. And I thought about all the crimes that happened to the East Coast from South Florida, and all I could think of is, I guarantee you, it's connected to these feds and the army here in South Florida, one way or the other. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, but I just can't prove it. But let me go get the map. Hold up. See this? This is the map of Boston. Look, it's so old. It had dust on it. Polk Street Atlas, Boston. Look, it showed all that. It showed the whole Boston, the inside cities, everything in and out. It show that these pages so old. This book is so old. Look, it's falling apart. Look at this. Look at this. It's falling apart. Got stains on it and all. This this map of Boston been in my house. This map of Boston been in this house that they gave me, man. When they first gave me, and it was sitting up there on the table, broad daylight, just like this. And I seen it when I came. I'm like, damn, And all I could think of is when it said, if you see something, say something. Here go the map right here. I done been to Boston a few times before. I got friends up there, you know what I'm saying? And when I heard the Boston bomber, and I know these feds, been following me here, and they only been torturing me here in South Florida. And I know they followed me to Boston. And I seen them when they surrounded me in the Boston airport. When they act like they was going to arrest me or something and kidnap me. But they didn't. And then I see when they, all the years they tortured me, all of my family members they killed. And I thought about this map when I seen that Boston bomber, man. It tells you every city, bro. This ain't my map. This shit been in this house since this man gave me this house. You see what I'm saying? You see it yourself. And I know they came in this house. I know they came in my house. They got keys. They made copies of the key. That's why I had to change the lock. They made copies of the keys to come in my house, man, and look around this house. And they seen this map, man. It's a map, man. This map, man, show you the whole city of Boston. They study maps. They study maps like this. Really, really good. They know the ins and outs, which way to attack this motherfucker, which way to get out, where they can bomb and get away. And like I said, they got suicide bombers in their own different way. Not like the ones in Iraq, not like the ones in ISIS. But they got their own type of people that'll bomb some shit, fuck some shit up, and go to jail. And die for the people who told them to do it. It's a tricky game. It's tricky. You got to be really smart. You know what? I'm gonna drop more videos, but and sometimes some of the videos I might say the same thing, but I'm gonna keep putting them out there because while I still got the freedom to do it, I'm gonna keep doing them. One day I can go through them and piece them together and make them better, but you know, I mean, my mind is just flipping, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so as I kept thought about it, as I kept thinking about it, if you see something, say something. I thought about all them years the feds have been torturing me and all the things they did to me, man. And when they followed me to Boston to see my friends and all that, man, from fighting me and torturing me and telling little slick stuff to me about how they killed thousands of people and that the police was looking for them. Then I thought about, if you see something, say something. I had my book bag, dog, before the Boston bombing, dog. Way like motherfucking 5 years, 6 years before that shit. I had this bag for a long ass time, and it looked like a soldier bag, a military bag. I found this book bag, and I kept it. I found it by a church about 6 years ago, and I had this little book bag been with me through thick and thin. And these feds followed me. I got pictures of them taking pictures of me, man, when I had the same bag, but you ain't gonna see my bag in the pictures because when I take it off, I be sitting it down and stuff. And when I catch them taking pictures of me, I take pictures of them back. And so it made sense. They got the idea to raise awareness about people with book bags. People in America don't believe shit till shit happen. You see what I'm saying? So they can't just make a speech about be on the lookout with people for book bags and stuff like that because they can be dangerous because ain't nobody gonna fucking listen. Like ain't nobody might not listen to me in this video. That's why they kill people and cause a big ass crime and get everybody attention. They have to murder people and make a big crime so everybody be like, whoa, what the hell? And then when they get your attention, then they make their little speech. So they willing to murder people just to talk so people can hear them talk. That's what this is about. If you see something, say something. I'm a black man. My name Ketron, man. I had this book bag way before that Boston bombing shit, dog. When I was given this house 2 years ago, this map of Boston was in this house. The feds have been following me all that time. They came in my house. They saw this map. They already had a map of Boston of their own. But this just gave them an idea because it was in the house that was given to me from Mr. Ralph and Miss Regina, who now live in Tennessee. You see what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden, Mr. Ralph did. He was in the military. He gave me his house. He was nice enough. He was a white guy. He was a white guy. I believe I got pictures of him because they was left in his house. Hold on, let me see if I got that picture. I don't know if this was him. I don't know if this was him, but it looked like him. It's old. It was in his house since I got it. One of them is probably him. I don't know if it's him or him. I don't know. But one of them, I'm guessing, is Mr. Ralph. I talked to him over the phone, but I ain't never see how he looked. Just a bunch of pictures that was here that I mailed back to them and gave back to them when they came to, you know, get whatever that was left over in the house and stuff like that. And things like that. But I don't know which one. I'm guessing it's the one with the glasses though. One of them is him. Mr. Rao. He was in the army. He was in the U.S. Army. He gave me this house. They told me straight up they don't care what I do with it. This map has been in this house for a long time, and you can see it's already falling apart. Got stains on it. All of a sudden, that's when I heard the Boston bombing. You know, Boston bombing. Oh, they had a book bag. They had a book bag and they bombed Boston. You know what I'm saying? But and after I done been there and I, you know, had times, went to see old friends of mine and stuff like that, and crazy stuff like that happened. But at that time, they had already been following me for like 6 years or a while. And so when I say these people are smart, man, you know, too smart, man, too smart. They got too many criminals killing for them. And no matter if they get arrested, the criminals gonna still be killing because you're not allowed to know that it's linked to them. They're willing to do whatever, however, whenever, for you not to know they had something to do with what's going on here. You know. But this video is old, man. Well, the video is long, and I'm about to end it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do another video. Before I did this video, um, answering questions for my little chat room friends, I wanted to. I had some better stuff that I thought about that I wanted to say, but it all slipped my mind. Um, it all slipped my mind once I started recording and started talking. My feelings got the best of me, and I started, thinking about a lot of old things in the past and things like that, and how smart these people is just unbelievable. But you know, I'll make some more videos soon. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this one right now. It's already like 43 minutes. But yeah, man, it's real.